uh, a, a piece of paper
Mm-hmm.
alongside of me or a board that I can actually trash my palette on.
Mm-hmm.
I take a brayer and go through it or press it, and he does the same thing.
Really?
So
Hi,
Okay.
Marian.
Hi, Marianne.
Hi.
Hey guys,
hi.
I don't know that I don't know if this is going to work. I'm on the road traveling.
Oh,
Well, they go in and out, but we can see you just fine.
Yes, we can see you.
yeah, and we can hear you
Yeah, but
too.
you won't be able to see me once I start driving.
That's okay.
I'm
But maybe we
Yeah.
can hear you.
Okay,
That
that's fine. As
yeah.
long as you can hear us, you know.
Where are you off to?
I was delayed in leaving for the coast, and now I'm a day late. So we have extreme weather, and I've been trying to stay home and keep the plants watered. But my presence has been requested, so I'm having to go down to the coast.
Yeah, I was just telling everyone that my air conditioning is out, so I'm sitting here in the dark in my living room waiting for the air conditioning people because you're probably even have greater than
Oh,
you.
yeah. Well, I'm going to see if I can set this up so I can at least hear you all. I'm
Okay,
not sure if I'll
Mm-hmm.
be able to talk with you or not,
sure.
but I'm going to try to stream it on Bluetooth, and I'm not sure if I can turn my mic off. I'm afraid you're going to hear too much road noise.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
okay. All
Okay.
right. At least we'll know you're there. So.
Okay.
Mhm. Mm. Okay. Yes. Sure. Yes. Let's start with you, Beata. Now
Mm-hmm.
you will go first on Fridays.
In reality, I was only dealing with my exhibition, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
framing, varnishing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, nothing else, and I don't know. uh, I always have to do something with with the exhibitions. So as soon as I will finish, I need to start sending out the invitation cards.
Mm-hmm.
plus plus I yeah, yesterday, that's really awful. I already mentioned you that I need to deal with the um, how do you, the that's the retirement agency who sends out all of your data, and my data is absolutely wrong.
Uh-oh.
Out of the, let's say, 51 lines, I found only 3 lines what I can accept.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, everything's wrong in
Whoa.
it. I have no idea what they did. And let's say I had to check uh, my taxation documentation for the last 20 plus years, and part of them were missing because I brought to my mother's house or to my, I have no idea which one, to my mother-in-law's house when we moved to Malaysia, and I didn't find it.
Oh dear. Oh.
Yeah, so there I still have some missing files. And they only gave us 60, they gave only 60 days to uh, write your comments. That's the problem.
Well, that's
Yeah.
that sounds like a problem.
Plus, my husband blood pressure went up, and I had to take
Oh,
him to see the doctor,
Mm-hmm.
and he was at home, so, so I couldn't do as as much things as I wanted.
Mm.
But at least I listened the coaching call with Nicholas Wilton, and it was fun.
Okay.
I was only sorry that I'm always sleepy when this goes.
Oh.
So
and
late
won't
for
be
you.
able to do anything with it.
What time does he have his calls?
It starts at 10 o'clock, and around after 11 o'clock, I'm already sleeping.
Oh dear. Oh.
Really hard. You think about all the time zones of the people that are participating in this, and
Mm-hmm.
he
Yeah.
always does them 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, so they're 4 p.m. for me,
Mm-hmm.
and and it's absolutely the worst because the
Oh,
building
yeah.
is
4 p.m.
moving, and anyway, it's okay. It's just not a good time for
Yeah.
anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been in a
Yeah.
number of programs which are international, and I think this is the best time. The only time zone that is just impossible to join is the Australias and I think Asia.
Yeah.
But to
Hour.
have the Americas, Europe, this is usually the best time,
I
because
think they work for Alexis's program too.
yes, it was around this time. Yeah.
Well, she had them 10 a.m.
Okay, so
Yeah.
an hour from now. Yeah, but it's still it's not too late in Europe. It was okay
Yeah.
for us here. Just something to think about as we move forward, and if we decide to do something like this. Because I haven't been able to join the last 3 calls in the branding class because they've been at what 9 a.m. Amsterdam time.
Oh dear.
That's
Oh.
that's what midnight for me. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just something
Hmm.
to think about as we all move forward. And if we're creating classes and things, something to think about.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Beata, how many pieces are you entering?
50.
Wow.
So
You've
you
been
Yeah.
need to
busy.
frame all of them.
Yes. Not. I won't frame all of them. Only which are on paper. Uh, the part of the canvases are already
Stretch. Okay.
yes stretched and wired, so I don't need to do
Okay.
anything with them. But some of them I haven't varnished yet, so I need to varnish
Mm-hmm.
and need to wire too.
Wow, that's a lot. It's
Yeah, that's a lot. Yes.
a lot. But, I mean, a lot of work too. But
Yeah, that's a lot of work too.
it'll all
I
be worth
hope that I can sell at least a few of them
Yes.
because I
Yes.
don't want so many frame pieces.
Yeah. Yeah. That they, yeah, we'll be sending you all the good vibes so that you
Oh,
sell as
thank you.
many as possible. Yeah, the hard work has to
Stay
pay
in
off
the room, but
somehow.
that's if I prefer not to come.
You know.
I just as
Yeah,
soon
I
stayed
hope so.
home
Yeah.
and stay in the room by myself, away from everybody.
Is Marianne talking to us?
Nope, not yet.
Okay. All right.
Not yet.
Okay.
Yeah,
So have you
and
figured out your presentation at the exhibition, what you were discussing last week?
not yet, because I had to do so many other things on this
Mm-hmm.
week, and I can do this next week too.
Okay.
so, so I postponed. Now I do the most urgent things because they're going
Mm-hmm.
to uh, take my art on Monday morning, so I need to
Mm-hmm.
be ready with all of the pieces by
Oh,
Monday
wow.
morning.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's why now I varnish and wire and frame.
Wow.
That's
Are
why
you
it's
showing
so
pictures
urgent for
of
me.
this? Are you showing pictures of this process? You're not. You should. You should show pictures of yourself
Oh,
varnishing and framing and the chaos. You should share all of it. I'm serious.
I put all of the pieces down on the floor.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Share the chaos. You know, you should share the
And close
chaos.
down the cat.
That's even better. You know, yeah, to share the whole process, because then it shows your audience that you're really you're a working artist. It adds more credibility. You know. Yeah, so take some pictures of the mess and put it out there.
uh, should have done the so I created the artboard and also the desire board, but I haven't finished them because I want to add pictures, but I haven't.
Okay.
Haven't yet.
Okay. Uh, um, especially since we have the new group, we still want to share.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, sending you all the energy you need to complete these tasks.
Oh, thank you.
I wish we all lived close by. We could come and help you.
I
You
know.
That would be great.
I know. So anyway, yeah. Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us?
Nothing for now. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Marianne, are you going to be able to talk or no?
Well, it might be a little noisy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're actually
Yes,
very
we
clear.
can.
Yes.
Okay. I have my small little setup headed toward the beach, trying to keep my Caran d'Ache crayons from melting on the way there. We have 100-degree weather today.
Oh wow, you
So
too.
it's intense, you know, and it's supposed to be for several days. They think it's going to be in mid to upper 90s to 100 for, I don't know, week to 10 days. It's terrible. I am going to work on these. I think they're called cradle boards. I could be wrong about that, but they're small boards. You can get them at some Michaels stores. Not every Michaels store, I just found out, but they're 8x8 and 10x10, so that they're inexpensive. They'll be, some of my inexpensive pieces.
Good.
But I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with them yet. We'll see. But right now, that's all I've got going on. I'm just trying to get a working setup down to the beach, and I've got to come back home on Tuesday. So I'm back into that going back and forth, which is kind of not the most efficient situation. Anyways, that's all I've got.
Okay. All right. Well, I guess it's all working out.
It's fine.
Yeah, knowing that you had already planned to do these smaller pieces, and then you're going to show these pieces in this space, and they want small pieces. So
there's motivation.
Yeah, it's all aligned. Yeah. So I'll enjoy.
Okay, I'm going to listen the rest of the way through, folks.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, Michelle.
Yeah. Well, I watched Nicholas Wilton's. I watched all the videos for today, but I also had listened to the group call, and he demonstrated both on the group call and then in the videos creating these boards that are just. You do two that are play boards. You work on them 20 minutes. You put them and then you put one down, pick the other one up, and you could have a whole rhythm going like that, and you're playing.
Michelle, just a minute. Marianne, can you mute your mic? Is it possible?
If I'm not sure if I can or not. I might have to sign off.
Oh, No, I didn't want you to go.
I'm not so sure how to do it. I was looking for a way to do it, but I if I can find it, I'll do it.
It's
Okay.
not
It's
that bad, but
Not
Sorry.
that bad.
no,
but
I just thought you could. It's fine. It's fine. We can manage. Hmm.
um, but
Yes.
anyway,
Hmm.
the boards, it's really a process that he said that he came up with this methodology of how he does his work and keep the
Hmm.
spirit of play alive by doing it in small chunks of time, like he said, and
Hmm.
he found in his day that you go in, and the most productive time for him is when you come in after you've been in another environment. So you could come into the studio like first thing in the morning after you've been at home and whatever, or when you take a break from the studio and come in, and when you take a break, that everything is fresh then.
Hmm.
And he said that when you start to feel yourself dragged down or starting to take more time looking and evaluating your painting, that's the time to pick up another small board and start working on
Mhm.
that. So,
Oh,
and it makes a great deal of sense.
okay.
and
Okay.
Yeah.
and then, while you're working on these, alongside of that, of course, you have brushes that are filled with paint and you want to switch color, or whatever. So you have a trash board that you're just using, just making any kind of mark and not paying any attention. You're cleaning your brush or you're
Hmm.
doing something else. And then at the end of things, the marks that you end up with that trash board end up becoming the base of a stronger painting. But
Hmm.
for
Hmm.
but as long as his what he's saying is the longer you can stay in the play and inventive mode,
Hmm.
the better you are. And I agree wholeheartedly with that. As long as you
Hmm.
can feel in that are in that play or inventive mode. And so this week he's letting us use color. He's letting us use collage or whatever we want to do. We can do everything.
Hmm.
We post them to the weekly album. I haven't done that yet, except for one of my inspiration boards for my desire, or
Okay.
uh, artwork past, present, and future, because I did them all by lists. They aren't
Hmm.
particularly, but um, but I can see how this is going to be changing.
Okay.
And I also got a correction. My friend who did the course before said it's $500, not $1,500 for returning people, which is why
Oh,
they
okay.
uh,
That sounds fair.
have,
Hmm.
yeah, have such an incredible
Mhm.
returning artist space.
Hmm.
People are retaking it.
That, yeah, that's fair. That sounds much better.
Mhm.
But
Mm.
what's interesting to me is that these people still see the value in it. Like Alice Sheridan has been taking it since 2016. Every year she's,
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
and this year she is a coach. And in
Mm-hmm.
fact, she's going to be on the coaching call tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And um, uh, uh, yeah, so it'll be interesting to,
Mm, that's interesting.
yeah,
That speaks to the value that he's
I think
provided.
so. I think
Mhm.
so.
Yeah.
Think if the two of us get a lot out of it, maybe
Yeah.
it may be we'll see
Mm-hmm.
if it's the course worth the course. But he also said that these panels, if you bought the panels from him,
Mm-hmm.
he has
Mhm.
a frame that he offers that fits them. And he said that some people have been able to sell work alongside and going through this course and paid for the course before they're done with these 12 by 12 boards.
Mm-hmm. That's cool. It's nice to know that there is some genuine value out there.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
reassuring.
I really get this. But he likes starting from, all the inspiration board and the value board, and
Mm-hmm.
The inspiration
Mhm.
board, these 3 boards that I kind of go, okay. Yeah, I did enjoy doing them, but there was reluctance, I know, because I've done a map before, map of my world. But this, it makes a lot of sense.
Mm,
And that whole visualization exercise was worth its weight in gold.
mm,
Yeah, that's great.
okay. Well, where did the
You should try
visualization?
it.
Pardon
Pardon?
me?
You can try it.
Yeah, we could walk
Yeah,
you.
you can try it because it's only 5 minutes, and you can also imagine the whole thing.
Oh, okay. Where does the visualization lead you to?
It leads you to seeing your potential art in a new way, your future art in a new way,
Okay.
what it might be.
Mm-hmm.
It may be unrecognizable to you.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
wow.
Yeah,
And
That's
did you recognize your paintings, Michelle?
I didn't. They were
wow.
You
much
didn't?
like
Oh.
a lot of white, a lot of light, but also a lot of color.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I
Mm-hmm.
don't do that already, but I think it was interesting because on the board when we described our art, I really assessed my work in terms of its strengths and weaknesses.
Mm-hmm.
And when I had been a watercolorist, I had been a strong value painter,
Mm-hmm.
and lately my work hasn't been as strong with value. It's been
Mm-hmm.
stronger
Mm-hmm.
with color,
Mm-hmm.
strong line, weak on shapes,
Mm-hmm.
and um, strong on movement,
Mm-hmm.
weak on differences, I think. I,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I've been in kind of a lull for a while, so this is like coming alive. It's really, and if you I think that his methodology of starting work out and that the fact that he took notes about
Mm-hmm.
why his process, what were, that he was assessing his good days in the studio, what is unique about
Mm-hmm.
this day, what made this good day better than the
Mm-hmm.
days before, what attributes.
Mm-hmm.
And that is his recipe for doing this course, is that he is actually, and this is a formula with like 20 minutes. Now, somebody else's may be different, but it's good to just be observant of the days that we're productive and feel good about ourselves and good about our art versus those where we feel stuck in the mud.
Mm-hmm.
What is it that we're telling ourselves? What is it that we're doing? What time of day is it? What is your mood? Where did you come from?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it is, like when he puts this 20-minute, and I'm not sure that was so hard and fast, but that's what I made up, a 20-minute rule for each piece. Like I'm going to start setting an egg timer.
Mm-hmm.
And before you go
Mm-hmm.
back to that original painting, you have even more of a shock than just trading paintings. You go
Mm-hmm.
away from it for a while, whether it's walk around the block or
Okay.
run in place, have a conversation. And so much of it is attitude. He talks about how artists, I'm a continual frustration to one of my good friends who's planning this trip in to Provence next year,
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go with the flow. I just don't want to plan anything. Or very, I mean, my plane ticket, that's about it. Where we're staying, that's about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to have opportunities present themselves. And when I've traveled before, even though I've done a lot of traveling with this particular group of friends,
Mm-hmm.
I always go off on my own. I always meet
Okay.
low.
Mm-hmm.
I always,
Mm-hmm.
not that I don't love them and hang around with them, but I can
Mm-hmm.
see at home.
Yeah. Yeah. You're the explorer.
Oh my
Yes.
God. It keeps on coming back, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
That's
God.
interesting.
And I would never feel that I'm that adventurous, but when I put together my board,
Mm.
yeah, I am.
Yeah. That's interesting. When you were talking about I don't know if I got it right, but having the board on the side,
Mm-hmm.
as you
Mhm.
create the main piece. I remember I took, when I was taking the classes in community college, I took, I think that was my first acrylic painting class. And it was the very first time in my whole entire life that I painted a face.
Oh,
Mm.
And um, nobody could believe it when I said I hadn't painted a face before, because I hadn't. But here's the
Mhm.
interesting thing. I hate, especially when you're new to a kind of paint, I don't like wasting paint. I hate wasting
I
paint.
don't.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I
Oh,
had my canvas on the easel. We were actually using canvas paper. He didn't want us using actual canvases. So I had my canvas paper on the easel clipped to a board, and I had another sheet next to me. And anytime I needed to clean out my brush, I created a line,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And so by the end of it, I had these lines. And I remember him coming and looking at it and making a face.
Yeah.
And I told him, I don't like wasting paint, right?
Mhm.
Well, guess what? About a year later, I started seeing these paintings all over the place on Pinterest. At the time, Pinterest was the big thing. This was before Instagram, and this was before Facebook became a
Mhm.
thing. And there was this artist, and her work was in such high demand. And that was all she did. She just painted strips of color. You know.
Oh,
I will post the picture in
really?
the group.
Oh,
Yes,
please.
I'll post mine
Oh.
and I'll post the
Mhm.
pictures. Her paintings were
Oh.
all over Pinterest. She was one of those artists who would list something and within minutes of sending the newsletter, they would be gone. And I
Oh.
promise you, they were
Mm.
strips of color. I'm going to post it in the group right now. I want you to see it.
Oh, I'm so
So I'm just
curious.
fascinated. I'm just fascinated with this whole um yeah, her it was called Made by Girl Art. I'm
Okay.
telling you, I'm
Hmm.
showing it to you right now. So anyway, so there's something there.
Well,
Fantastic.
Shirley,
Pardon?
when I used to paint on watercolor paper and take tape around, I used to then use the tape in collage
Mm-hmm.
on
Mhm.
board. And those paintings, a lot of people in this area do that.
Okay.
And so those paintings are pretty popular too.
Okay.
It
Yeah.
was
I'm
hard
sending.
tape rather
Yep.
than the blue tape, blue painter's tape. Now I use
Mm-hmm.
blue painter's tape, so it's not quite as
Mhm.
forgiving.
Yep. It's interesting, and it's all about creativity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And trusting. I mean, I remember when I saw her paintings, I was like, wow, this to me is a very confident person.
Mhm.
Yeah.
To believe that her brush strokes, I mean, to even have the courage to put them out there
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
and to say this is my art. I'm posting them in the group right now. And then later I'll post my brush cleaning just so that you see the parallels. It's crazy. Yeah, I want you to see them. I want you to see them.
To me is that you did it in stripes,
Yes.
just shapes or blobs
Mm-hmm.
or
I'm putting her name here. Okay, here.
I'm gonna go look for them.
I've just posted two. But yeah, I want you to see them. Her, if you go on Pinterest, it's especially during that era. But I'll send you, I'll post links, where people have actually, staged them in their homes. It's crazy. So there's something there.
Oh,
Yes.
is this her art?
Yes, and it was in high demand. I'm
Oh,
telling you, it
that's
was in
fantastic.
yes, it was in such high demand.
I prefer yours.
You haven't even seen one. Yeah, so um yeah, it's interesting. It's
Yeah,
interesting.
that's interesting.
Hmm.
Really.
Yeah, it's
Mm,
interesting. Art is
Yes. Yeah.
subjective. It's
yes,
it's
absolutely.
incredible, and it goes. What I'm being reminded of here is confident.
Hmm. Yes,
Yeah,
what Nicholas Wilton mentioned,
yeah,
that you need to be confident.
yeah. Okay, I'm posting her shop here. I know you believe me, but I want you to see it for yourself. So anyway, when you were talking about that, I just remembered. Yeah, here's her shop. So if you go below, you'll see all the sold pieces.
Very cool.
Yeah, well, it's inspiring. It's inspiring. So play on.
Well, we're really going to be having a good time.
Good. That's exciting.
Much more entertaining than Alexis's course.
Well, that's the conclusion we came to. Talking about the art is more inspiring than talking about the business.
Yeah.
Yes, obviously, yes.
Interesting.
So what is up with you, Charlene?
Um, I also had, I don't know if I shared the assignment I had last week. I had an assignment in the branding course, and it was she also gave us a meditation, a visualization meditation. So essentially, it was
Hmm.
to invite your queen, because your queen is the way you want to show up in the world, right? And I was like, oh, let me just do it. It's not going to be a big deal. And just, I wasn't expecting anything earth shattering, And here's my homework. And yes, I went overboard. I'll just tell you right now. Because everybody else didn't like what I paid my 10. But I don't know.
Oh,
Oh,
it's quite big.
wow.
So,
Oh, look at
oh,
Can you
that.
see it?
that's great.
Yes.
Yeah, I have seen this on Instagram.
Yes, I
That's
posted
great.
it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can see, I'll tell you about it in a minute, but you can see my
Your
muses.
muses. Uh-huh.
You see?
Yes.
Okay. So, um, so yes, I did my homework, and I wasn't expecting this, but one of the first messages I got from my queen was the fact that I had abandoned my people.
That you had abandoned what? Pardon me?
My people, because if you're a queen,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and
Hmm.
it was as if my queen was telling me that I have to start employing people again. Because when I employ people and I take care of them, I will be taken care of. So, of
Mm-hmm.
course, that has added to my troubles because I have no idea where I'm going with that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was a very insightful exercise. Just asking, I chose this particular image with all the roses in my hair and everything and the veil. And the symbolism of that is, I don't want to lift a finger. I don't want to lift a finger. I want all of my work to radiate from my brain, from my head. So the symbolism of that is I want my work to be based on my imagination and my creativity, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is just in response to how hard I had to work in the past. Even though I had staff and everything, I still had to have a finger or a hand in every pie, and so yes, that's what the queen brought me some interesting things to think about. Now, in something completely unrelated. So I've been talking about Jacqueline Coates for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
she has a program which is called Make Money from Art. I think I mentioned it costs 10,000
Oh.
for a whole year. I have no
Mm-hmm.
intention of taking the course, just to let you know. But what I've done is I kind of tracked down her students, and
Mm-hmm.
I've been observing what her students have been doing in the back. Like I've been following their progress,
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
you know. And one of them, her name is Lee. It's been so interesting to just look at her journey and where she is right now. Um, she's a very talented painter, and when she did her flowers, because Jacqueline starts with these giant flowers, she actually added figures to her flowers,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And if you go down in Jacqueline's world, when Lee had her first exhibition, she sold out. She sold out. She sold out all her paintings.
Oh.
You know, so and I was drawn to Lee because of her style. It was very feminine. She had lots of women with the flowers. All of that. And then about 3, 4 months ago, she started posting a completely different style. You
Oh.
know, and for a minute, I was even upset. I was like, why is this brilliant painter, you know, posting this style, which is there was no match between her style and what I was seeing. But then again, I was just observing, and then the next thing I knew, she
Mm-hmm.
had rented a studio, an art studio, because up until now she was painting from home. She did teach a couple of classes with the flowers. And so apparently she calls these divas, I mean the paintings, the new ones. So apparently she very deliberately created this style so that she could teach it.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Oh.
And
Oh.
in the past 3 months or so since she had her studio, she's had a class almost twice a month. She started with 1 day classes. Now she's offering 2 and 3 day classes. And if you go to her website, she has about 20 testimonials now.
Oh
You know,
my goodness.
so
Oh.
it's just been interesting to observe. Because, like I said, I know she's been in Jacqueline's program, where
Mm-hmm.
Jacqueline is teaching how to make money from art. So it's just very interesting to observe her from having this exhibition with these beautiful paintings being sold out. So in my mind, there's success here. Why change it?
Yeah.
But then moving from that to creating this completely different style, she starts showing that. Next thing, she's rented a studio. Now she's teaching classes, you know, and it's just fascinating, you know, it's fascinating.
Mm.
And again, this has happened
Yes,
over
it
a
is.
period of about a year, but I've been incredibly fascinated. Let me show you those pictures. But
Yeah.
it's been, so what I am getting from this is obviously Jacqueline Coates being her teacher. She's possibly telling her that you're going to make more money from teaching, and it's just been fascinating. I'm fascinated by the whole. And her 1 day classes cost, I think, $350. The 2 day classes, 800, and the 3 day classes, 1,200. And again, being in Jacqueline Coates' world, I know those are going to go up as she grows. So, yeah, I just thought it was fascinating.
What is Lee's last name?
I'm putting her name in the paintings here.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And you'll see the difference. I want you to see the difference between her original work and the work that she's created to teach. So now, of course, it all makes sense, but I'm sure you'll understand my surprise when I saw her move from one style to another. Okay.
Well, I heard it needs to grow.
Yes, but to me, looking from a distance, she was going in the opposite direction. So, yeah, so take a look at it. It's interesting. I'm fascinated with, the whole business, how people are making it work. Have you seen them?
Yes.
So the first three are her original style. These were the paintings. I think the first one was a commission. The other two were paintings which she sold out. And then these ones are the style she's developed in order to be able to teach.
Oh dear.
So you see,
oh dear.
So now you understand what my surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, because her work, her own work is lovely.
Exactly.
Well, maybe they aren't self-portraits, are they?
I think she creates these templates because Jacqueline Coates, her method, she gets you to grayscale the flowers, trace them out, and then do a grayscale before you do the color painting. And I can see with Lee, she has these templates of the divas, which you probably choose, and then you get to design however. So again, I'm just fascinated with these different business models.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's all that and I'll post her website, and you will see the plethora of testimonials which have happened all within the past 3 to 4 months. So yeah, just
and people like the course. They like the people like the course. They like the course.
Which course?
the one that Lee Kusner has started. They like her course with the characters, or is this
Yes, yes. And there are more and more pictures of people who have taken the class. There are more. I know. I, I know. So you see where I'm coming from. You see my initially I was like, what's going on here? But then as time went by and I saw more and more and more students, I was like, oh, she did know what she was doing, you know.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think I think you can sell all those classes when you paint a woman,
Mhm,
paint a woman with some kind of your. Um, it can be your muse or
mhm,
yourself, and with some of your powers
mhm,
uh,
mhm,
and the symbol of your powers.
mhm.
And I think this one is really sellable because
Yes,
everybody want to be more confident, more
yes,
energetic, more happy, and it's somehow you create your superpower,
mhm,
and
yeah,
and it's not only fun,
mhm.
but easy to understand for everybody.
Yes, yes. That's a very strong angle that you're coming from because that was what happened when everyone created their queen. What you're talking about,
Mhm.
Beata, is what I saw other people experiencing in creating their queen. They got to create this. Now, please, not
Yeah.
nobody created
Mhm.
anything like what I have, so that's not what I'm talking about, But
Mhm.
the exercise was an invitation to either create a collage or a sketch of your inner queen, and that's exactly what
Mhm.
you're saying. And I can see how that's possibly what Lee is doing. I don't know.
I'm looking
Mhm.
at our website right now.
Mm-hmm.
Still
Mm-hmm.
seems
Uh-huh.
like her work is very much still on track, but that she
Mm-hmm.
created these workshops simply to be
Yes.
commercial.
Yes, thank you. It's what it
Yeah.
just
Yes.
is.
Commercial.
Exactly. It's what it
Yeah.
is. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. She
Commercial.
changed to a more commercial way,
Yes.
commercial direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it's
Probably that's much easier to sell. Despite she could sell her work.
yes,
Yeah.
we don't know the whole story, but it's just fascinating.
And even the way she has set up this talking about the workshops and the value is so much
Mhm.
like what we've been taught and bonus and bonus
I
and
know.
it's
No.
so freaking related,
I
you know.
know. I know. It's either we're in or we're not. It's what it is.
Well, what okay, now is this in Australian dollars? Is she Australian?
Yes, she's Australian.
Conversion rate.
Yeah, she's Australian. Obviously, Jacqueline Woods is Australian, so most of her students are Australian.
I don't know the conversion for Australian dollars versus yeah.
I don't think it's a
I
whole
don't
lot.
know.
Let me check. It's not a whole lot. Let's see.
Oh, it's 0.69
Okay.
to
Okay.
US dollars to
Mhm.
59 cents.
Mhm.
So it makes it more reasonable. But a 3-day workshop she has at what was it 12
Yes,
50.
I think it was 1,200. Mm-hmm.
So if you take 2/3 of that,
Mhm.
be 800 for a 3-day.
Yeah,
Do a painting like that?
it's working. But
Mhm.
a friend of mine, a friend of mine, and myself talked about it, and we are artists, so we're going to look at that and say, what? But for someone who
Mm-hmm.
hasn't painted before, who has always dreamt about being an
Oh,
artist,
absolutely.
it's a big deal. You know,
Yes.
it's a big deal. So, yeah, so it's just interesting to, I'm always fascinated with what people are doing and
Hmm.
Yeah.
how
Well,
it's,
very wise of you. I think that says a lot too. Like, let's see what her students have achieved, whether it could possibly be worth
Mm-hmm.
$10,000. You know.
yeah, I mean, if I look at what, and I've observed a number of them. Um, Other ones have followed her business model of setting up a gallery.
Mm-hmm.
Most of them have set up galleries in their homes,
Uh-huh.
and they have lots of events. And they don't only sell their own art, but they invite local artists to be in their
Mm-hmm.
galleries too. You know, there are two other flower painters who I'm assuming were students of hers. And that's the direction they have gone in.
Mhm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious. I'm always looking at what people are doing and what's working.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
herself,
I,
mhm. Were you
That
saying
is.
something? Were you
yeah. I
saying
just
something,
wanted
Jessica?
to.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. That I jumped into discussion what Nicholas Wilton had with a gallery owner
Mm-hmm.
in somewhere San Francisco area,
Mm-hmm.
and she mentioned that she created her own gallery on a quite remote area, so
Mm-hmm.
there wouldn't be visitors on foot.
Okay.
But she has a different concept, and she organizes events,
Okay. Mhm.
workshops, and events for
There you go.
artists,
There
and
you go.
that's how she gets the mm, buyers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's similar idea.
Mhm. Yeah. It's a community-based something,
Hmm.
you
Yes.
know, and um, so yeah, it's just inspiring to see the different ways in which um,
Hmm.
I know I'm looking for something that will work, you know. So
Yeah.
I'm always
You
looking.
know what Verana started? She copies the Profit Canvas course,
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
and she just launched her beta course,
Okay.
the art business course.
Hmm.
Uh, but she's going to do a little bit differently because she accepts only 10 people in the beta course to get
Okay.
feedback,
Hmm.
and she's going to do a lot of one-on-one discussions and
Hmm.
small group
Okay.
coachings.
Okay. Okay.
But
Yeah.
probably that can work too.
Pardon? Uh-oh. You frozen. Hello?
Can you all still hear me?
Oh yes, you're back.
Yes.
Yes.
I pulled over to the side of the road in very rural South Carolina. I'm kind of amazed I can still hear you all.
Oh. Okay. Hmm.
It's very, we've got lots of traffic trouble on the big highways, and I took a back road, and the only ones I've seen are sheriffs who are waiting for speeders.
Oh.
So I'm very glad to be traveling slowly.
Mm. Well, good. Good. Good.
Yes.
Um, did you want
Well,
to share? Uh-huh.
well,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing what you post since I can't see it. If I mess with my phone at all, I lose the picture.
Hmm.
Yes.
So I've lost the picture, and I'm looking forward to catching up and seeing these things that you're talking about, these
Yeah.
people.
Yeah. It's all
Hmm.
in there. So
Yeah, they
good.
are interesting.
Yeah. That's good. Yeah, so that's all I have for today. I'm
Yeah, that
still
was really exciting, Shirley.
pardon?
That was really exciting, Shirley.
Oh, good. I'm glad you thought so.
It was. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
Memorial
It's,
Day plans?
pardon?
You have Memorial Day plans?
Um, yeah, my Cupid, I can tell he's sick. He's been coughing,
Oh.
so I can tell it's going to get worse before it gets better. So I'm hoping
Do,
the 3 day weekend will give us the opportunity to heal because we don't want to break our streak, our perfect attendance streak. He
Oh.
hasn't missed even 1 day of school this whole year. So,
That's great.
so I can see my weekend going to be full of taking care of a sick 8-year-old.
do you all want to meet on Monday, or do you want to just meet next Friday?
Oh, that's a good question.
For me, it probably would be work better to skip Monday just because even though I'm in the factory, I think it's going to be busy.
It'll be busy. Okay. Okay. What about you, Marianne?
That's good for me. I don't know, if I make myself available down here, he'll probably want to go to lunch somewhere,
Okay.
and so.
Okay. How about you, Beata?
It's good for me. So there's no Memorial Day here.
All
So
right.
it will
Well,
be good for me.
I'll show up, and whoever
Okay, if
yeah.
there's a lull, I mean, it could be a beautiful day out. Nobody comes to the factory, so.
Okay.
Mm,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that can happen.
yeah. So if you can't make it, don't worry. I'll just show up, and if well,
Okay.
no worries at all. Hmm.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank
Yes.
you.
So have a nice weekend.
Yes. Have a wonderful weekend. Wonderful holiday. All of it.
Thank you all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Okay.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.